Welcome to the Parenting Power Podcast, supporting parents with the real-life tools they need to raise the confident, interdependent people the world needs. Gail Bell and Julie Friedman-Smith interview experts who share their knowledge to assist parents in creating a home environment where kids can thrive.
Hello, I'm Julie Friedman-Smith.
And I'm Gail Bell.
And we're thrilled to be speaking today with Paul Davis, an authority on social networking and online safety. In addition to his presentations to educators, parents, and law enforcement, Paul has presented to over 430,000 students in Ontario, Alberta, Quebec, Nevada, California, Louisiana, and Ohio. We're eager to hear what he has to share with us today. Welcome, Paul.
Thanks for having me.
Paul, we know you talk to both students and parents. We were wondering if you could give us your top 3 to 4 do's and don'ts for parents around parenting technology and keeping their kids safe online.
Certainly. The reason I speak to students and parents is because everyone has a different message. And so I'll even break down students in the grade 4, 5, 6, which is you are a child. You're just learning about technology. You're curious, as every child should be. And so there's more of the don'ts on the 4, 5, 6s, and there's a lot of inspiration on where they can be. And the don'ts are remove yourself from social media because you're not remotely old enough to be there. And then we can talk about that afterwards. With the grade 7s and 8s, because they're getting into social media, they're about a month or 2 months, or they're in it right now, it's a different message. It's understanding how the technology works, and most importantly, privacy. I'm a big privacy advocate. Understanding, communicating with real human friends, not oversharing, and making sure you understand who's going to see that information and the consequences of misusing the technology. When I speak to the parents, it's most of what the kids have heard, plus a whole lot more, but from a parenting perspective, so they understand there are a lot of do's and there are some don'ts, and if we apply them, these kids' lives online can be awesome. If I had to go to a parent, and I'm only speaking to grade 4, 5, 6s, well, number one, we do not allow technology in a child's bedroom. Their curiosity combined with privacy, connected globally, is a recipe for danger. I'm all for kids using tech. I'm a tech dad. My daughters are 13 and 16. But we don't isolate them at a young age. We have to guide them. That's our responsibility as a parent. So we empower them with the technology, which is fantastic. Now we got to guide them. It's not the babysitting tool of choice. It's not get out of my hair, go to your bedroom and watch YouTube for the next 2 hours while I make dinner or entertain company. They need to be utilizing technology in a common area of the home where parents can see what their kids are doing and, of course, who they're doing it with. And every cyber expert I've ever met in my life has the same rule. The guy that created the device most children are addicted to before Steve Jobs died, he had the same rule. No tech in kids' bedrooms. That's common sense. Number 2, I would say respect the rule. So if it says you need to be 13, wait till you're 13. If it says 17, wait till you're 17. Understand that there are guidelines as to when you can and can't use certain things. And they're laid out by the companies that are giving you the product to use, so you may want to respect them. I go from a perspective of safety and privacy, but they may have different issues as well. So those 2 rules in terms of children using technology are the key, in my opinion, to being safe online. Parental involvement, no tech in the bedroom in a common area of the home, and, of course, respecting the rules of the technology. What can we do with these kids in grade 4, 5, 6, 7? Well, we should be putting them in coding classes. They should be learning how to create the next great app. Build a really cool website. Talk about your favorite interests, your hobbies, your musicians, athletes. If you're going to be a coder and you're going to create the next great app, why not blog about it? Put on your own website. If you're going to create a game, blog about it. If you want to talk about, again, whatever is of interest to you, put on a website. And what impresses employers is that when you have your own website, which takes a lot of effort, you do it safely with your parents. It takes, like I said, effort and a lot of thought to go into. It impresses people because it's not a simple post, and hopefully people get a like on it. And so since the inception of the Internet, websites have been around forever. And I always said social media here today, gone tomorrow, and pain can last forever. But kids can get on websites, develop them, create them, expand them, talk about whatever they like to talk about with parents' involvement. So now we're bringing our parents together with our kids. We're putting a positive digital footprint out there. That's positive use of technology at that young age.
Oh, wow, I love that. I just love let's not focus on what we can't do. Let's focus on all the great things we can do with technology.
There's a ton of stuff out there. The problem is, respectfully, we go down the path of children being followers and not leaders. They see everybody else having it. They want to fall into that trap, and parents fall into that same trap saying, well, if they have it, I guess you can have it. Versus parents saying, whoa, let me understand how this works. No, you're not old enough, you're not mature enough, and I understand the pitfalls. And then look at the other side. They don't, because they're choosing not to explore the other side. So my message when I speak to that younger audience is there is another side. And you can do this. You can do this safely. It's educational. There's a career path. Look, we need coders in 10 to 12 years in this country where we're projected to have a shortage. Kids have a great career path if they go down the path of coding and building websites. And it's all done with parental involvement. There's so much fun out there.
That's great, and it's also reinforcing two of the things that we really support parents in doing, which is, number one, taking that time, creating time to connect with your child, doing something that they love, and number two, using the internet for creativity, not necessarily just consumerism. So I love that idea of what can we create and what represents you uniquely instead of how do you just fit into everybody else's stuff. It's really exciting way of looking at it, Paul.
Well, to further your point, look at Instagram, for example. If you look at what people post, who are allowed to be there, the posts look the same. The posing, the comments, the hashtag, it's basically, it's zombies. It's what everybody else is doing, I want to do as well. When I look at children who've created websites, one boy, he's 10 years old, every time he reads a book, he takes a picture of the book, he puts it on his blog, he does a book review. Inspiring. I met a 10-year-old boy. His dad has a car collection. He takes pictures of his dad's cars. This kid knows more about cars than I do, and he's 10 years old. I remember meeting a 9-year-old girl in Markham, Ontario. She used to blog about foods that you cannot put in a microwave oven. And I didn't even know foods that don't go into microwave ovens, but a 9-year-old girl taught me, and that was inspiring. And I even met a boy in Calgary. I will never forget this. It was in the Northwest. He wanted to do product reviews. So when his dad would come home with a product, he wanted to take it, and he wanted to talk about it. See, this is unique. This is creative. This takes effort. When I look at some points on social media for these kids, is they just follow what everybody else does.
Those ideas are inspiring. Perhaps you'd like to share some do's and don'ts for that older level of kids who are allowed to be on social media and finding themselves there?
Yeah, so my message for 7s, 8s, 9s, and then high schoolers is what I like to do is I like to break down technology. And I'll be honest with you, I've been criticized by some. I tell them too much. The reality is I believe in full disclosure. So the pattern of my presentation is I make sure they understand how tech works, how law enforcement tracks technology from mobile devices to social media. Because what I'm doing is I'm instilling accountability and responsibility for all of their actions. Because let's be honest, when it comes to cyberbullying and they say, I didn't mean to, an accident, it was a mistake, lapse of judgment. These are all outright lies. Everything online takes immense effort. So my objective, I break down how tech works so we all understand it. And I break it down into 3 different components. So by the time I get to social media, they understand how it works. And so now I talk about the importance of privacy, not overposting, and real human interaction. So if it means you only have 40, 50, 60 Instagram contacts, 30, 40, 50 Snapchat contacts, I'm comfortable with that because that's real. When you have 600, 700, 800 contacts, you put yourself in a position of hurt, which is you'll receive inappropriate content, inappropriate images, messages, direct messages, or posts on your pictures. I want to remove them from that ability. When you keep social media real, it's awesome. And I'm all for it because I understand it's where they want to be at. I also talk about limiting social media. Do you need to have every platform? Absolutely not. Have a few selected platforms which you communicate with your friends. Privacy is important, real human contact, and then I'm not against it. When we have open accounts and we overpost and we share personal images that contain background noise in the image or geotagging the location of the image, this is what they're not understanding. And my objective is to make sure they understand that there are risks beyond what they're just posting, thinking only people I think are going to see it will see it, when the reality is a lot more people can see it. And then we move into the most important component, which is respecting yourself and respecting your body. So taking pictures of an intimate nature on technology is my absolute don't because of consequences of action. They could be legal, they could be personal. And I talk about self-respect and making sure that our bodies remain private and that technology can be very hurtful when you take certain images and transmit them. So we cover social media, we cover that aspect, and then we also talk about the importance of understanding cyberbullying and that you're accountable and responsible for all your actions.
Yeah, I love the cyberbullying, no excuses. The other thing I hear you saying, Paul, is self-respect, right? That is so great versus don't do that. Do you know how bad that is? No, actually it's about respecting yourself. That's such a great message for kids to hear. And again, in a positive way, that we're supporting them, not telling them that they can't do anything, supporting them in understanding and learning and using it as a purposeful tool, which I do want to believe it is intended for. Paul, what's your perspective about parents' use of technology? How do you see parents' use of technology affecting their children positively and negatively, and home life in general?
Parents model a lot of their kids' activities, and when children see it, they fall into a comfort zone of, well, mom and dad are doing it, so it's okay. My golden rule, at the beginning of my presentations, people know that it's like I issue a punch in the gut, and I make sure parents understand, let's understand where all the faults are because we can correct them. And so one of the things I make sure parents understand is that you're modeling a lot of your child's behavior. So, for example, why do we need to bring an electronic device at a table that serves food? When I talk about respect, I talk about respecting not only oneself but each other. So from the time we start making dinner or lunch or breakfast till the time we finish cleaning up, devices are buried, put away, and turned off. They're not within remote access of getting them. And we will communicate with each other. We will talk. We will engage. Family life the way it used to be back in the day. Because what I'm seeing is parents who take their phones to the table. The child is trying to talk to them. The parents are pretending to listen while looking at a device. I see that at restaurants. I see them at food court in a mall where you may have 10 to 15 minutes to eat. They're still doing it while they're in a food court. I mean, I don't know how you have time to look at a device in a food court when the whole objective is you're shopping, you're going to sit down, you're going to eat, you're going to get up. The kids are trying to talk, but they're also being distracted because parents are saying, you know what, I have no time for you. Here's an iPad. Shut up. I'm too busy texting my friend, and let's go back to shopping. Let's bring back family respect. Let's put all these devices away. Let's respect each other. And then afterwards, if we have to go back to ignoring each other, but at least at the dinner table, at a table that serves food, quality family time, because I'm not making this up. Kids open up to me. They tell me some of the most personal stories, and I listen to them. And if there's one thing I'm gathering is that they really, really want their family. They want their family engaged. But the kids are superficially happy because they've got a $1,000 smartphone. They have 500 fake friends online. When they post something, they're getting the like that they're missing at home. And that's hurtful because these are just children. And they're being influenced and they're being guided by their parents' activity.
Yeah, we have this line at Parenting Power that I think you'll agree with and like. We say kids spell love Time.
That's
and
awesome.
that means time with their parents. And the recent research that's out that I'm pretty sure you're aware of said that kids now feel like they're competing for their parents' attention with their parents' phones. So you taking the time to talk to us about that and us being able to get your message out on our podcast, again, to just remind parents and support parents and encourage parents. And as you said, start small. Keep it away at least at meal times is fabulous.
And if we can take it to the next level, which is when your child is on the soccer field and they're looking to you for your acknowledgement, for your acceptance, for your clap, and they look back and they see mom on her phone and dad's on his phone, they feel it. So let's start off at that dinner table. But you know what? When we take it to the next level and we go into a sporting event, what's the most important thing? Well, it's your child, their team, their accomplishments out there, and then on the way home, talking about the game. I see it all the time. I used to coach 12 girls' soccer teams in Ontario. I would spend hours of my life helping other kids. And I would look across the field to see families completely disengaged, not even looking at their child because their device is more important. They feel it. So your point, that time, whether it's an hour in the soccer field, 45 minutes at the dinner table, is so meaningful. And this is coming from a guy who bleeds tech. I live on it, except I know when I need it. And because I don't see my daughters 2 to 4 days a week doing what I do, when I'm with them, tech is second. My time is number one. Their voices, our engagement, when they're on the soccer field, when they're playing sports, my tech doesn't exist. Put it away, and we can all do this. Because think about this. The average person uses their tech for social aspects, nothing business or mission critical related whatsoever. So let's put things into perspective. Know that our kids are important. Use tech when we have to, but don't ever let tech dominate your life because your kids are feeling it.
Oh, I love the clarity there. And really, it's about intentional use of technology. And often in the heat of the moment, we're not very good at making those intentional decisions, but taking a few moments, thinking about what's right for your family, and that you can start in one place and build from there. Those are things that everybody can do and set an intention of how they're going to spend time connecting and when they're going to spend time on their technology. So thank you for clarifying that. Paul, if people want to hire you for a presentation or get in touch with you or follow you, where is the best place for them to do that?
They can start off on my website, which is socialnetworkingsafety.net, socialnetworkingsafety.net. If you're a parent and you want to keep up with my weekly tips and tricks and whatever comes out that's new and you want my review and my thoughts, my Facebook page, which is facebook.com/Paul Davis Tips, so D-A-V-I-S, so Paul Davis Tips, T-I-P-S. If they just want to come and say, you know what, I don't know if I'm there yet, my kid's only grade 3, 4, and they want to come and see a presentation, every month on my Facebook page and my website, I post the cities I'll be speaking in. All they need to do is connect with me and say, hey, where are you going to be at this school? And I'll tell them at what day and what time and the name of the school, and they're more than happy to join. Unless, of course, it's a private school, I can't offer it, but if it's a public school, the school communities are awesome at inviting everyone in. And I think parents just, if their kid didn't hear me, at least come out and hear me for 90 minutes about what kids are up to and what we can do at home. And if I have the honor of speaking to the child, then the whole day is made, because now the kid gets a certain message, the parent gets a message, and then collectively they can go home and come up with how they're going to make things better.
Phenomenal. Thank you so much.
To learn more about Parenting Power, check out our website, parentingpower.ca, visit our Facebook page, or follow us on Instagram and Twitter @Parenting Power.